Check, check, check already. Okay, let's start. Hello everyone and welcome to another video and welcome to my BMW 318i. So it's been exactly 1 year and this car has done about 24,000 kilometers and it has been an amazing car to drive pretty much every single day. I wanted to share with you guys all the good and the bad points about owning this BMW. So today's video is all about the 10 good and the bad points about the BMW 318i. Now before we move forward, please consider subscribing to my channel and also press the bell icon, and also please keep all the notifications on so that you never miss any video updates in future. Starting off with the first one is this paint chipping. Now the paint work on this car is pretty soft and I've observed this on many occasions, because you see these sort of small dents or the chipping on the paint that has come off. These are just literally when I've just opened the door and it has been parked next to a wall or something, and it's been a very slight touch. And not even that, even on the bonnet there has been a big chipping, and I don't know how that happened, but it just was there after maybe a car wash, or I don't know, maybe someone lifted the wipers and then it just scraped the bonnet. But it's quite a big chunk of chipping which has happened on the bonnet as well, and also on the other doors there are various small dots that have happened. Now the next point is the side mirrors, and the side mirrors, they don't have the blind spot warning system, and considering that this car is pretty expensive, and to not get a side blind spot warning system, that is something which this car really needs. And also, not even that, the side mirrors have started squeaking. So whenever you close or open them, the side mirrors, they tend to squeak, especially in summer when everything dries up, and then these make some horrible noises. But currently they are not, which is pretty good, but there is some slight amount of noise that still keeps coming. But again, you don't expect that sort of things from a car like a BMW. The doors, they are a bit too soft when you close them or also when you open them, as I shall explain you. So when you open the door, it's pretty easy to open, mind you, but then when you try to close them, they are way too soft and they just close all of a sudden. And because of that, if you try to apply a little more pressure, you see there's a loud thudding. And then it's not just that, whoever sat in this car has been complaining to me about the soft doors as well. The fourth point is the interiors. Now let's be honest, the interiors are a bit too plain to my liking, because yes, I get the point that there is a bit of styling around, but then otherwise it's a pretty plain sort of interiors. Even the door cards, there's nothing going on, but it's a pretty straightforward kind of interiors. But I wish there was something more colorful about it. The fifth point is the car lacks an adaptive cruise control. Again, for the price that you pay, you expect at least an adaptive cruise control from the car, but this just doesn't come with the adaptive cruise control, but just the normal cruise control. Also, in terms of storage, the door bins lack the amount of space that you would expect from other sedans from this range as well, and because of that you can't even put a very big bottle, and even putting the bottle is a bit of a hassle. And there is also this plastic that keeps chipping away every time you try to put a bottle and remove it. If it's a plastic bottle, it's okay, but if you try to put a metal bottle and try to remove it, there is always a chipping which happens, and you don't want your car to be scratching from inside as well. The next point is this side handrest on the doors. Now if you are a tall person and if you take the seats behind and try to put the hand here, because it is curving inside and eventually just disappears at the edge of the door, so when you try to place your hands while driving, it's going to tend to slip. So that is one thing that they should have sort of made a bigger handrest, or maybe an even handrest that goes all the way till the back. Now the very important point that this car lacks are the charging plugs. Now in today's generation, I mean, you pretty much want a lot of charging plugs, and other manufacturers are pretty much giving you up to 4 to 9 charging plugs in the car, but in this 318i you get one just a cigarette lighter, which is your 120 watt normal power socket, and also there is one just here a USB plug in the handrest, but there is no USB plugs in the back at all. So eventually there is just one USB plug and just one 120 watt power socket out here, which is I think not enough for the 5 passengers in the car. In the back you got this big transmission tunnel out here. As a result of that, 3 people can't sit quite comfortably, even though the rear seats are pretty flat. The middle row of seat is pretty flat, but let me demonstrate you. You see, this is how you are going to be sitting if you are the third person or the middle person sitting in the back, and I think for a longer journeys it is a little bit uncomfortable. Also, this car sometimes lacks the response timing, because this is a second back that I press the throttle. So when you press the throttle and you need an immediate power, then this car takes a little while to respond to that. And this is basically, my car is in the comfort setting, but if I put it in sport, things don't change a lot. It still takes about half a second before it replies to my command. But if you put it in Eco Pro, just don't do that, I would suggest, because it would take ages for the car to respond to your command. Now, an additional problem that I've started facing with this car since probably 2-3 months now, but then it has been going on and off it. But now off lately, this warning has just stayed on my dashboard for a long time, and it's the SOS call system failure. Now, I did some research and found out that this is a very common problem that happens on the BMW. But what is more annoying is that when this problem pops up on your car, then pretty much it just does not leave the center dashboard. So it just takes over all the information system that you can see in the dashboard, and as a result of that, while you are driving, all you see is just the failure system. And for a while this problem was coming and going, so I thought maybe this is just a software issue or something. But then since 15 days this problem has just stayed on my screen, and I think I am going to be going to the service center to get this verified. So those were the bad points about my 318i. But now let's dive into what are the good points about this car. And starting off with the dashboard itself, the infotainment system is pretty straightforward, which I love about it. And it's pretty straightforward, although the screen is a bit small, but then it's just perfect while driving at night or during the day, because it's just right there in your face. But not too much where nowadays where the manufacturers have started putting the big screen right in front of you, and it just hangs out of the dashboard. But this is very well placed and just smooths out. Also your AC controls and every single thing is just laid out quite well. The next point is the camera system. Although this car has only one camera system, but the camera quality is pretty nice, and it's also to do with the fact that even the screen that they've given for the infotainment system is pretty nice. And as a result of that, after the camera has also been given of a good quality, the whole system comes out with a result which is so nice and so crisp and so clear. Like when you're reversing, there is no chance that you would miss out any object, and even at night it works pretty well. The next point is the comfort in this car, and it is just amazing. Like the seats are leather seats, and during the long journey it is just pretty comfortable. The next point is the seat adjustment. Now the seat adjustment on this 318i is mechanical, so even for the passenger and the driver. But I think I have never mentioned this point, but I really like the fact that the seats are mechanically adjusted. Now let's just think for a moment that, you know, if you have too much of electronic bits going into your seat, there are more chances of it failing in future, or the motor is just stopping or something. But when you have mechanical, it's also to do with the fact that it's pretty fast. Like you could just pretty much change this so quickly, and without wasting your time, whereas in an electronic seats you would just have to wait for the seats to go back, adjust here. It just takes a lot of time, and I think I prefer the mechanical ones. The next point is the range of this car. Now this car comes with a 1.5 liter twin turbocharged petrol engine, and as a result of that it delivers a fuel efficiency of 13 to 14, and this is pretty much in everyday driving where I'm cruising along on highways inside the city, and I'm doing speeds of anywhere between 80 to 120, and as a result of that I get a range of 650 kilometers on a full tank, and to be honest, that is pretty impressive. Also, the next point is that this car is pretty easier to maintain and drive, because let's be honest, up till now, over my 1 year ownership, I haven't had any major issues apart from the SMS, which is actually not a very big problem. If you see, is just a software or a hardware bit, but then that doesn't really affect the functioning of the car. Even BMW has a major service after every 1 year, so I think in terms of the whole performance and the maintenance, this car is pretty much up there. The NVH levels in this car are so good, because whenever you are going above 120 or you are cruising at that speed, there is no wind whooshing. The build quality is solid, and as a result of that, the NVH levels are kept in check. And if you talk about the BMW, and if you do not talk about the handling, then it is not even a BMW video. So coming to the handling bit, this car just handles like a gem. So it's just so precise, it's just so pointy, it's just amazing. Like, point this car in any direction, it just responds immediately, and in spite of it having an electronic steering, and yet it feels like a hydraulic one, where the response is pretty on point. Also, this car has a very short turning radius, like very short. It's almost as close to a hatchback. This car comes with the air suspension system, and as a result of that, you don't have the body roll first thing, because this car has very minimum body roll. It feels pretty stiff yet comfortable from inside. But also what the air suspension does is it enhances the handling capabilities of this car as well. So those were the good and the bad points about my BMW 318i after owning it for a year and driving it for 24,000 kilometers. Now if you ask me, I would suggest you to go for this car, because let's be honest, this car is practical, this car has performance, this car is pretty sensible in every way, because it's a small car, you can drive it every day, it's a fuel efficient car as well, so you can go on a longer distance without burning holes in your pocket by putting a lot of petrol in it. But you also get the performance of a BMW and the quality and the fit and finish of a BMW, and as a result of that, this is a strongly recommended car. If you want to subscribe to my channel, click here, and if you want to watch more videos, then click here, and make sure to give this video a like as well. Anyways, until we meet next time, bye bye.